Hallo, liebe Motor FM-Hörer. Here is Denim. I'm going to be your host for the next hour, playing the songs that made me who I am today. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about music and what it means to me, which is difficult because you really just get that from listening to it. But yeah, I mean, it kind of is my whole life, and it always has been, even from when I was a little child. Although I wasn't one of those people that always thought I was going to be in a band. I didn't really think I was going to be in a band until I was in a band. But now I can't imagine doing anything else for the moment. When I was a kid, I was first influenced by, well, family, I guess, obviously. Pretty much everyone's first influence. And my dad was a folk musician, but as a hobby. He had a job, and then he did folk music as his hobby. But he was good at it. It was a semi-professional hobby. He did gigs and stuff, and he'd have people come around to the house and play fiddle-dee-dee music with him. He had a friend called John that taught me some bluegrass violin. I don't have any bluegrass violin stuff to play you, but I do have a particular favourite of one of the many folk songs that I love, which is about a female highwayman, or highwaywoman, I guess. I was always quite interested in the songs that were there. There's a lot of traditional British folk songs about women kind of dressing up as men for whatever reason, not particularly for fun in a cross-dressing kind of way. It was more like, they were on a mission, like to prove that their lover hadn't been unfaithful, or to follow their lover who was in the army overseas by dressing up as a soldier or something like this. So this is called Sauvé, and this version is by Pentangle. That was Sauvé by Pentangle, traditional British folk song. My mum and dad used to sing a lot in the car when we were driving along places. We were always kind of singing, and not like, that sounds really like, some kind of stage school family, or some kind of cheesy soap opera, but yeah, it was pretty fun. I was really into musicals when I was a kid too. Annie, Oliver, the usual ones, lots of, musicals with little children in them. So I'm going to play a song from a musical that's a bit of a jolly one, because I'm sure I'll get onto some more miserable ones later, so we might as well get jolly now. This is called You're Never Fully Dressed Without a Smile, and it's from Annie. I'm still at the childhood phase at the moment. One thing that music's always been good for me is when I'm kind of in certain moods, certain types of music will appeal to me. It can be very useful for changing my mood as well. Or sometimes I can just wallow in misery. So, which I think this track that I'm going to play next is probably my first foray into wallowing in misery via a piece of music. It might have been my second, actually. My dad used to sing a folk song to me that on the last verse I used to usually have a few tears. Something about farewell to Nancy or something. But anyway, this was is a really still a very emotional piece of music for me. Especially if I happen to imagine the death of Bigwig in Watership Down at the same time as listening to it. This is called Bright Eyes by Art Garfunkel. I'm going to play Gigantic by the Pixies next. I saw a gig by the Pixies that kind of changed my life, in a way. I mean, it was just extremely emotional, and I had never really realised that watching a band could feel like that, and I had a lot of admiration for the band. I'd like to say that at that point I knew I was going to be in a band, but I didn't. I just really enjoyed it, and I made some kind of little collage to the gig and to the band, which I was very proud of at the time, but which unfortunately ended up burnt along with 11 volumes of my teenage diaries. One of the more regrettable actions in my life. This is Gigantic by the Pixies. I discovered Joni Mitchell and loved her. I love the lyrics. I love singing along to it, well, wailing along to it. It's very high, quite hard to sing. Yeah, it's quite can get a bit maudlin. I was listening to the whole of the Blue album yesterday in preparation for this, and at times it got a bit much, a bit emotional. So yeah, but it's great. Also love Clouds. I've been rediscovering Joni Mitchell this year. I've been rediscovering a lot of music this year on tour. Joni Mitchell is one of the people I've been listening to a lot in the tour bus. So I'm going to play Blue by Joni Mitchell. I started discovering girl bands and influential music by other girls maybe later on, once I'd already started doing Robots in Disguise and once we'd done a few gigs, and I really was realising that there wasn't that many other girls out there doing it, and was quite shocked and hadn't really thought about it that much before. So I started kind of getting into certain types of music, and there was some other women making music around that in particular influenced me a lot. One of those people is Peaches. I'm going to play a track by Peaches, the first one I ever heard, because it really blew me away. This is Fuck the Pain Away, Peaches. That was Fuck the Pain Away by Peaches, who is an amazing musician, producer, performer. We're both massive fans. It would be a total dream for us to get our next record produced by Peaches. Who knows, if you're listening. This is another song that I really like to play when I'm DJing, because I really like the intro. You'll hear it in a minute. This is called Oh Bondage, Up Yours, X-Ray Specs.
Some people think little girls should be seen and not heard, but I think